Hi everyone, this is Vivek here. Welcome to weekly recap. So we'll start with gold as usual, and then we'll concentrate on Indian markets in this weekly recap as nothing much has happened as far as the international markets are concerned. They're just oscillating in the same zone. Therefore, we'll look at gold first. Now, gold has moved up a bit, and uh, this 168 levels has been very important, and on a weekly basis it has moved above that zone. So now I've just subdivided the entire zone, and the next resistance comes around 173. So if you look at this zone, this 173 odd is this previous zone from where the market came down heavily. So if you look at this zone here, therefore this 173 again will be a good zone of resistance. Previous zone of resistance are always good zone of resistance in the future as well. So 173 will be a good resistance again, uh, and it will be important to see if there are any reversal signals developing in that zone. And if not, then definitely it will be headed back to this 181, which is again a previous resistance. Okay, so two important resistance zone on the upside. One is 173, and the other one is 181 O levels. Yeah, so two resistances, 173, which is pivotal now, and then again at 181 levels. So these two resistance will be important for gold. So we'll look at reversal signals around this zone to see if indeed gold is ready to come down from these levels, or still there is much more higher levels. Now, if you look at RSI has definitely reached its important resistance zone here around the 80 levels. So therefore, these two resistance level will be crucial now to watch. So that is gold. We'll look at first Nifty now, and then we'll look at Bank Nifty. Uh, Now the 10,700 levels was crucial as far as Nifty is concerned, and it has closed above this zone on a weekly basis above this zone. So the next two important resistances comes around 10,911 and 11,123. So these two are the next resistance zone where Nifty is now headed for. It has closed above that crucial zone of 10,700, and therefore, uh, the momentum is clearly in favor of the index still moving a bit higher. Okay, so if you look at the shorter term charts as well, see this is the zone of 10,700. The index has been, uh, you know, supporting, bouncing back from the same zone here. So this zone will again be very crucial to watch out for, and any breakdown from this zone would mean that we'll again be moving down. But as of now, it has closed above this zone on a weekly basis, and definitely the momentum is on the upside rather than the downside. On the shorter term charts, yeah, this is the resistance level, the 10,830 levels, and above that, back to this 10,900, yeah, 10,900 or 911 that we just spoke about, or that which is there on the longer term charts. I've just integrated the longer term charts with the shorter term charts and further subdivided the zones because they're bigger zones. So on a longer term chart, this 10,700 and 10,911. So uh, further subdivided this zone to see how to trade this particular thing on the shorter term charts. So that is Nifty for you. If you look at Bank Nifty, we look at first the weekly chart. Now, if you look at the weekly chart here, see this was an important zone here. This 22,380 odd levels, and when once the market moved above this zone, uh, it moved up and then it's just come back to that 2000 22,400 levels. So if you look at on the shorter term charts as to what's happening, on the shorter term charts now, see it's the same zone. This is the 22,380 odd levels, and the market has stopped right there, on the last day. And if you look at momentum as well, it's still in the bull zone. Okay, it's taking support around this 40 odd levels, which is the bull support. And if you further look at the same on the 15-minute chart, look at this. Uh, uh, you're getting a positive divergence here. Okay, so this you just convert this into a line chart, and you'll be able to see this. So this, look at this. This is down, whereas this is up. So there's a positive divergence as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, right on your support, and that is telling you that the start of the week should be positive, and the 22,400 will be a crucial support as far as Bank Nifty is concerned. Okay, so start of the week definitely looks positive, and to start with, and the crucial levels to be watched for Bank Nifty are these three. This 22 860 and then 23 340 levels. These these will be crucial levels to watch out for, and because a break above this zone will take Bank Nifty to this zone around 24,900. Because this has been a long consolidation, and now that it is inching above that zone, the probability of uh, the market or Bank Nifty touching these zones are much more now. Uh, so if you look at individual stocks as well, not much of retracement has happened in many of these private sector banks, and therefore the probability that they would retrace as well is very high. Okay, so if you look at Axis Bank, we looked at on the monthly chart. Okay, here it is. If you look at Axis Bank on a monthly chart here, it has resistance at 460 and then at 492. So two zone of resistance, and on the downside it has support here around 428 odd levels. Okay, so if you look at the same thing on shorter term charts in order to trade, see here again it is dead on support uh, at 439 odd levels, where again the stock has stopped. Same here. If you look at RSI is giving you it's still in the bull zone, so it is taking bull support. And if you further look at the same thing on a 15-minute chart, look at this. This is flat, whereas the RSI is forming a positive divergence. Anyways, this is in oversold zone as well. So Axis Bank definitely looks to be dead on support, and therefore the probability of it again going to this zone of 460 is very high. And once above this zone, it can propel further. Okay. So if you look at on the monthly charts as well, that we were looking at this zone of 460 and then 490. This will be very crucial, because if you look at this, there's not much of retracement has happened here, and now that the Bank Nifty is inching towards its crucial zones, it's crossing those important zones. I think the lot of probability that these banks which have not retraced they would participate in the current rally which could happen in Bank Nifty. Okay, so this is Axis Bank for you. We can look at Indusind Bank as well. That is yet another bank which has been hammered, and not much of retracement has happened again. If you look at it again, see this zone here. This is 574 odd levels where it has halted, and a break of this zone would lift this particular stock to this zone here at 755. There's a big void here. The probability of it touching minimum to this zone is very, very high. Okay, so this is another stock which is on the positive side above 5,574, and that can be looked at. Okay, now we'll look at some of the pharma stocks. If you look at Sun Pharma, I'll just show you. Yeah, okay, here we are. Now see, this is one of the crucial zone here. This is also a role reversal zone, and this is one of the important zone for Sun Pharma. This is at 466 odd levels, and now look at this. Sun Pharma has consolidated around this zone, below this zone, and also above this zone. So we know that this is a very crucial zone here, and the index has the stock has moved above this zone. It has closed above this on a weekly basis as well. And if you look at the volume, see this volume on this bull candle is very, very high now, which is again an indication that this that the bulls are now entering this particular stock, and therefore the retracement is definitely on cards. There's a big void here between the first zone and this next zone. So this next zone is around 611, and a lot of possibility that the index could, this particular stock could retrace all the way till here on the first. This is definitely the first good resistance that Sun Pharma will face. Okay, so this is definitely a buy here. With a stop below this zone of 465 odd levels. If you're looking to buy for a short-term investment also or a trading, then this is the zone to look at, and all the way till here, which is around 611. So this is something on a retracement definitely looks a high probability. Now, in contrast, we have Biocon. Biocon has given a stellar move, and ever since it crossed this zone here, after that it has moved back, moved further up. Now, if you look at it, this 420 odd levels is a strong resistance here for Biocon, and what we need to see is, is it developing some negative reversals here in this zone, because this 420, 421 odd levels is a very strong resistance here for Biocon, and we need to see if indeed it can, it starts showing negative reversals or reversal signals on shorter term charts, then definitely the rally here in Biocon could be near or could be at the end. So we'll look at Biocon next week and see if it's forming some negative reversal, because it is right in the resistance zone. So this is Biocon for you. Okay, we'll look at daily charts also to see if anything negative there. Yeah, okay. So if you look at the daily charts here, okay, I'll show this to you on a 3-day chart, because that will be much better visible. Yeah. So if you look at this, see this is already showing you that a negative reversal here. It is already showing you negative divergence here. So see, this entire thing is up, whereas the RSI is not supporting that. RSI has been constantly been down. The only thing in favor right now is that this is the average of the RSI, and the RSI is above this average. So once the RSI is below this average, then definitely it will be a good sell, because on the daily charts, on the 3-day charts, it's already showing negative momentum. Okay, so we already know that this is a strong resistance, and now there's a uh, negative divergence forming on the daily charts. So all we need to do is this RSI should now be below the averages. It should take uh, resistance under the averages to sell. That is always the best uh, place to sell whenever it starts taking a resistance under the averages, under your averages. See here also, if you look at it, so this was a very good place to sell, because then it was taking resistance under the moving average. So from there a good fall came in. So this is just to time it further. That is what I'm saying. Okay, so that is Biocon for you. Uh, Next we look at HPCL. Look at HPCL now. Again, this 221 odd zone has been a strong zone here for HPCL. And this particular stock has not been able to close above that uh, for quite some time now. It has been consolidating in this zone, and if you just look at it, RSI also has taken support in the bull zone, and so the momentum is definitely in the favor of the bulls now that it is taking support on the um, you know on the bull zone. Uh, but immediately, if you look at it, definitely this is a good zone of resistance. And if you talk about buy, then definitely it's a buy above 221. So HPCL is a buy if it starts maintaining to stay above this zone of 221. Because as far as, again, the retracements have not happened much. It has fallen here, and look at RSI again, and therefore right in the zone, and therefore the retracements would be on cards, but immediately definitely not. It's been taking that 221 zone as resistance, and therefore that zone is a strong zone of resistance. Now if you look at if you see the same thing on, look at it on the RD chart. See on the RD chart here again, it's taking this zone as resistance here. So you know so if you look at it, 211, above this zone, uh, if you have to buy, then it has to be above this zone of 211. And uh, and immediately, since it is not, it has taken this zone as resistance, the short term is definitely negative. Look at this, uh, lower top, lower bottom, lower top, lower bottom. The first time it has not formed a new bottom, but it is at a trend line resistance. And you look at RSI, again, RSI in the bear zone constantly, you know, around the 30 and then 60. So this is, short term is definitely negative, and therefore this should be played on the negative side initially than on the positive side. As I said, the positive side would be much more be above this zone of 221 that we spoke about, you know. And as of now, there definitely it seems to be more negative than positive. And below this zone of 205, which is a good support, below this zone, the selling would intensify. all the way till here at 194. Okay, so this is definitely something on the negative side that you can look at. We'll look at HDFC Limited, which is the last stock again. Okay, we'll look at the monthly chart first. Okay, we'll look at, I've drawn it on the weekly chart. Okay, I've subdivided it on the weekly chart. So we look at weekly charts here. Now again, if you look at on the weekly charts here, uh, it broke above this 1881 odd levels, and then it went all the way to 1951, and then it has again given up all the gains. But the positive side has been that it has been able to still manage to close above this important zone of 1880. Now, if you look at the shorter term charts again, in order to trade here, see here again, the same thing, I have just brought it on the shorter term charts. So see this support here, and this is a positive candle indicating that the selling cannot go beyond this zone. It cannot. The sellers are unable to bring it down below this zone. So this is a positive candle, and a previous resistance as well. And look at RSI again. RSI above this bull zone of 40. You further see it on a 15-minute chart. See this here, again a positive divergence. So this is again HDFC is on a buy zone here with a 0.5% stop here below 1880. You can look at this stock to buy, and with the first resistance here at 1916, and then back to the high at 1950. Okay, so this is definitely a positive. Positive, looks positive for the week. Now that it is moving above this zone. So above this zone, above this 1880 levels, HDFC is definitely positive. And two crucial resistances, one is 1916 and the other is 1951. So these two definitely should be achieved above this zone here. So overall, if you look at it, that the markets have crossed certain crucial levels. Definitely the momentum is still on the upside, and the retracements are still there, especially since the bank Nifty has not done much. I'm expecting some more retracements to come in there, and that could further propel the Nifty up and next week. So the indications are also there. If you look at the shorter term charts as well, the indications are also there of the probability of the index still moving a bit higher than coming down. So that is that from me. Have a great trading week. Take care of yourself, and thank you for watching this video.